All right, nice guys. We got to talk about why you feel so stuck and how you can break free. Because I was a nice guy for a long time and I know what it's like to be there. It's not somewhere I want to stay. It's not somewhere I want other guys to stay. So if you're the kind of guy who's always done the right thing, keeps the peace, puts others first, yet you still feel stuck or invisible or frustrated, then keep listening because I've gotten past this and I want you to listen to this. You could feel numb. You could be overthinking. I used to overthink all the time. And eventually that led to numbness. I didn't know I had anxiety, but I got a brain scan one day and they said I had anxiety basically in every part of my brain. I didn't express my emotions. I was attracting girls and dating women that were emotionally unavailable as well because my anxious, emotional way of being liked their unavailability. And people that were actually stable, I thought were boring, to be honest. So it really takes an emotional rewiring, which is what we're going to get into. And so even though you, or even though I, or whoever feels this way, we feel like we're nice, we actually resent ourselves and other people. And this is not a good way to live, guys. So we're going to work on how we can shift this. I used to be that nice guy, for sure. Always smiling, always helping other people, and also always hiding my true self. I didn't really know who my true self was. People liked me. I don't know if they knew the real me, because to be honest, I didn't know the real me either. So it really takes, it takes intentional work to show up authentically and intentionally. And the opposite of being the nice guy is being your authentic self. And I wasn't living as my authentic self because I didn't know who he was. So I had to change that. I was performing all the time. The core of this, where this comes from, is a lifetime of suppressed emotions. And this is what being stuck really means. You have trapped your emotions your entire life within your own body, and they're stuck in there and they're not coming through. And so all of that energy is what would be being used to fuel your authentic self, and you've trapped it all. So it's not that you're weak or soft, it's that you're disconnected from your power. You've been taught to suppress your anger and your sadness. And when you suppress one emotion, you suppress all of them. So even your joy is going to be suppressed. And that is where your authentic sense of self and your presence comes from. But you've pushed it down for your entire life. So you might not even know how you feel. I didn't know how I felt. I remember I was like, I'm numb. I want to be able to feel again. All this people pleasing, right? And so we people please because we're not letting these parts of us through, because we think if we're ourselves somehow, then it's going to make somebody else feel in some uncomfortable way, or they're going to think badly of us. And we can't have that. We're the people pleasing nice guy. We have to be liked by everybody. So in order to please others, we abandon ourselves. We're lying to ourselves about what we really want. And it's become so subconscious, it's ingrained in our conditioning and our programming. If you're anything like me, you've been like this since basically the day you were born. Maybe give or take 5 to 7 years. And there can be deep resentment. There can be deep concerns or grudges, issues that we have buried so far underneath, we don't even know they are there anymore. And there's some rage in there too, I'll tell you right now. And it's going to be, for me at least, it was fun to tap into. So let's talk about boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries, because as nice guys, we don't have any. I used to not have any. Done way better at that these days. But we don't say what we think, or we don't express what we need, or we don't tell someone to stop when they are crossing one of our lines, when they're crossing one of our boundaries. Because again, you might not have ever been taught to have boundaries. I never did. Boundaries in my family were walked all over all the time. And so if you don't know where you start and someone else ends, or vice versa, where you end and someone else is beginning, because if they're crossing these lines all the time, you're not going to know who you are. You're not going to have an intuitive sense of self. You're not going to be able to trust yourself. So that's where this power comes from. We've got to dig in. You're living lives that other people want you to live. You're not living your life. This can show up, and it did for me, in your life as chronic stress, chronic anxiety, low sex drive, low sleep scores if you use the Oura Ring like I do, or just, poor sleep in general. I recommend the Oura Ring. I think it's fantastic. Your relationships are going to suffer. You're not being real with yourself. You don't know who you are. If you're not being authentic, you're going to attract people that like that soft silicone Teflon man version of you with no real edges or no real roughness. You're like the lowest common denominator of what people like in a person, but you're not anything that people are going to love in a person. And so there's this gap, massive gap between who you are and what you want, the connection that you crave, and the other people that you want it from. And for some reason, this never fills. And that's what happens when you're a nice guy. So to change out of this, to stop feeling so stuck, the truth is that change precedes change. If you want the external things to change, you have to start changing on the inside. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be uncomfortable because you spent so long being this way, and now we need to start being this way. That shifting, imagine this was like a pipe of water or like a river, getting the whole thing to flow over here now. You're redirecting all this stuff. And so we're going to shed layers so that we can build up in this direction. The challenge for the nice guys comes from, we would rather wallow in the pain. We would rather have a little bit of this familiar discomfort every day than face discomfort of real transformation, because we fear it for the discomfort that might be coming, or really for the unknown. We would rather have the known discomfort than the unknown discomfort. The problem is, the known discomfort is going to get us the known life that we have. It's not very exciting, guys. I'm going to be honest. The unknown discomfort has the potential. And if you never stop, if you just keep going, you're going to get there. But it has the potential to get you to an unknown confidence that you don't have right now. So you have to face yourself, and it takes courage to do that. And you have to decide that you're going to arrive here no matter what, that you're not going to stay in this known, comfortable life, because it is a shitty, comfortable life. It is a shitty type of comfort. It is not somewhere I want to spend one more second in if I don't have to. So don't think so much about, I have to go become this person, because really the first step that needs to happen is you have to unbecome this one. You have to unlearn and uncondition these parts of yourself so that then you can stack on these personality traits. So what helped me the most? What helped me the most was a lot of internal work. A lot of internal work focused on the body, where I was working with my suppressed emotions. The work I've done and the work that I coach others, I call it somatic energy work or self-somatic work. I'm starting to use the phrase the somatic subconscious, because it's a subconscious programming that is running the show. And the way to break free from that is to somatically drop into that subconscious and start to let these pieces go. You're going to redefine your relationship with your emotions. You're going to re-enter and take back control of your own body and everything that happens within it. And you're going to stop running on autopilot, and you're going to start building your intuition. As long as you keep going, you're going to reach this place of authentic confidence that you've never had before. You're going to have clear boundaries. You're going to know where you start and then where you end, and where other people can exist that are not influencing you to the point where you feel like you have to change to make them happy. You're going to start getting much better connection in relationships, dating, of course, friendships too, and at work. You're going to stop caring about what other people think about you. You're going to stop performing in your life, and you're going to start living the life that you were really meant for. So I just want to wrap this up. If this hit home at all, or if you know somebody maybe going through some of these things, if you've been stuck, if you're in that nice guy trap, you don't have to stay there. You can take a step today, take a small step, buy a book, send me a message, drop me a comment, talk to a friend of yours who might be feeling the same way. Maybe you guys can connect there. I want you to learn how to be your best self, because I wasn't my best self for a long time, and I wish I had started this sooner. So I hope you take control of your life as well and start sooner than I did.